the level of naivety necessary before you can talk about an American plan to bring democracy to the Middle East. You will not find that level of naivety anywhere outside of 1970s porno films. Gee, mister, you mean the time machine only works if I take off all my clothes? The G8 has today endorsed an American plan to bring democracy to the Middle East. And which country were they discussing that particular morning? Why, Iran, of course, which until 1953 was a secular democracy. 1951, Mohammad Mossadegh elected Prime Minister by a landslide majority on a mandate of nationalizing the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, now known as record profit posting BP. What happens next? The Foreign Office recommend a coup d'etat. Churchill puts up $1.5 million to finance the coup. Eisenhower agrees to match this with $1 million on the sole proviso that Theodore Roosevelt's grandson and CIA Middle East Station Chief in Tehran, Kermit Roosevelt, will be point man for the coup. This is agreed, the money's transferred, and Kermit Roosevelt's first action is to spring General Fazlollah Zahedi from jail, where he is languishing on account of being a Nazi collaborator. But this is the man that Kermit Roosevelt has chosen to lead the military part of the coup. Incidentally, I hope you're all impressed by the way I'm just letting the whole Kermit angle slide. For I feel that other comedians would not have had the self-discipline to walk away from that rich storehouse of comedic possibility, but would instead have become mesmerized by a mental comedy graph whose x-axis was Middle Eastern politics and whose y-axis was children's TV programs of the 1970s, and would have attempted to plot the intersection points and asymptotes thereon. But I feel that, yes, we could have that laugh, but at a terrible psychic cost, which would be that from here to the end of the show, there would be a tinny, hollow sound to the laughter, and a collective shared sense of disappointment, of the spectrum of possibility having been brutally diminished. And we got through the show fine, like any other, and gone our separate ways, but there would have been this sense, perhaps on a pre-conscious level, but real nonetheless, of disappointment. And it would all have been traceable back to this moment had we gone down that particular comedic pathway, which is why we shall not be taking that particular. That said, however, be advised, I shall shortly be using the phrase puppet regime. I don't want to get overexcited or to overreact in any way. You are a sophisticated, more-for audience. You will credit me that is the given socio-political terminology, the only accurate phraseology wherewith to describe how Kermit Roosevelt installs Shah Reza Pahlavi's absolute dictator of Iran, head of the notorious Savak secret police, which in 1976, he's still there, Amnesty described as responsible for the worst human rights atrocities on planet Earth. This was Britain and America bringing democracy to the Middle East in 1953 style. Yes, but that was then. This is now. Now there's an American plan, endorsed by the G8, I might add, to bring democracy to the Middle East generally, not just in Iran, but in Iraq, where the United States is building 14 permanent US military bases on Iraqi soil. But so profound